in one of the bars here for the rear cross member loop. You would have seen in the earlier episode that we finished off the tail shaft enclosure coming through to the back, and then you have to have a second tail shaft loop so that if your tail shaft comes apart, the front tail shaft loop and the rear tail shaft loop contain the tail shaft and stop it from swinging around and smashing up your car and your driver. So this is the last little piece that we're waiting from Tim to complete this whole deal. Is a piece of inch tube, and he takes two 180s and notches them so that they can receive a piece of inch going straight down on either side. So we've already got one of them in the car, but the other one goes like that, and that allows the tail shaft to have range of motion up and down when the suspension's working, but still does that job of keeping it enclosed and safe when or if you have a malfunction and the tail shaft comes apart. So we'll tackle that in place now, show you how that looks, and then weld it out, and that'll be another part done under here. And we're really getting low on the kits now. We've only got a couple left, and we'll be moving on to just making stuff ourselves.
Okay, today we're working on, Connor's finished welding out that rear tail shaft loop, and today we're working on making up some panels to tin out this whole back end. So we've got Troy's bloody cardboard templates out again, and we're mucking around like we're in kindergarten. We've made some nice little, that's the first two panels that we're going to weld onto. We're going to close out this area. I mean, these, and there's a little one for the top there. I'll tell you, that was an absolute blast. I had an absolute fat time installing that. This bottom one will be a lot easier. That'll be two of the pieces. And then this little section through here will get filled in. And they'll be permanent, welded in steel sections. And then all these bigger panels will be all aluminium with bead rolls and everything in it. But while we're mucking around in here, Connor's put an eyebrow on there, which for the tail shaft enclosure clips over that eyebrow. So that's going to tie all that in, and there'll be a quick pin that goes on the back here with a bit of a frame coming down. We're going to get onto that as well. It's just so much fun leaning in like this. We really need a pygmy on the crew, some little bloke to get in and do these jobs for us. But anyway, let's soldier on.
Actually put some music over it this time, mate. Don't worry about the haters.
Did you get all the front, or did someone get all the front from bare metal? Yep. Okay, so that's the tail shaft enclosure all locked away. That came out really nice. Fair bit of stuffing around, but turned out beautiful. Now we're moving into this panel that goes right through here. We're going to have to do in two pieces because of the burn down tubes coming through here. So we're just working on the first little piece, which is a real tough one, but we're getting there. So we're getting our template really close. And then once this will be welded in. This is the last of the steel ones. And then we're going to put a big aluminium one right over the top, and it'll actually come over here and cover up any ugliness of this bottom one. So it's going to overlap there and screw onto here. So let's get to work on making the real thing.
Got this panel all knocked out and just a little bend here on the top with these different size tubes. If you don't offset notch the bars, you'll find that you'll have a little difference in height through here. So when we went to lay the panel over, there was a gap here on the tube, and it sort of came back down to laying on it. So by putting that little kink in the top, that lets the panel lay down on those 2 bars the whole way down. So we can put our 2 deuce fasteners in the top here, and that'll hold it nice and firm on there and still looks nice here. This is going to be showing through the back window, so you don't want that to be looking ugly in the back window there. So also we've done 2 little notch outs here to allow for these bars coming through, as well as helping us get it into the bender. You can't bend when you got to bend this way and you try to bend this way, it just doesn't happen. So we've put a notch out there, and we'll run a bend down here just to wrap these around the side of that tube a little bit and just finish off the panel before we go ahead and lay some bead rolls down on it.
Yes, go to the Alright, so we're going
Half.
half,
Yeah.
3/4, like that.
Yeah.
But it gives it strength.
Lost to this rear end, you reckon?
Follow that angle.
Final part of the tail shaft enclosure. We're just putting the rear securing point of it, and it's also got a lifting lug on it, so it's just another one of these quick pins. We've got a little spud there. We've got that going through the top rail of the chassis, so that's all going to be gusseted and welded into the back bar on the chassis. So that's going to sit in there nicely. That's all scalloped out, and we've got our little lifting point. That's just going to be in there like that. So yeah, if you're doing a quick rip of the transmission out, you got 3 quick pins. That guy just lifts out. So that's that one locked away. We've also got the 2 nice side panels in there. Me and Troy have been scalloping away all morning. This one especially was difficult with so many bars in play, but it's come up mint. So they're ready to start getting bead rolling done on them. And Connor's working away on the mounting points for this top panel. So that's just 1mm steel. We'll clean that all up, and that'll be the mounting of that rear panel there. So we're going along nice. Yeah. Oh, we were joking about the dollar signs and stuff like that. I had a funny car that I've also had people that have had a car get built one for 3 years.
Bit of that shit stuck in my throat, man. Knocked the back firewall out last couple of days. That's come up really good with these 2 panels behind the seat and over here in the passenger side, and also around the tunnel. That came out really good. Finished off the mounting point for the back of the tunnel as well. So that came out really nice, split pin through there, all secured. Now we're just moving on to these little blank off pieces. So because we've got a removable body, when the body comes down here and tucks under, the sill comes up. This is the part of the body that the tub doesn't really cater for. So we're gonna have to make a little panel in there out of some 0.9 steel, weld that in, and just finish that tub off there. So there's a few other little bits we need to close off just there next to the tub. That's a little bit where smoke can get through. Also on the top there, just to cover out, fully check out the rear end from the driver's compartment. So I'm gonna knock that out today, and then we can move on to some wishbone and anti-roll bar and stuff like that. So get into it.
Okay, that's the rear enclosure, 99% taken care of. So the thing is, we want to make it seal up pretty good. So you see cars after the burnout with bucket loads of smoke pouring out of the doors and everything. So we're trying to be pretty meticulous about how we seal up I mean, you can't keep it all out, but we're trying to be pretty meticulous about how we seal up all the gaps and everything. So yeah, we got into there around the wheel tub line. That's that little one Connor was talking about there. The wheel tub comes past here. Little fillets in there just to take up the gap, and then the body comes down and seals on the wheel tub there like that. So yeah, and we've really found that in the smaller sections where it doesn't need to be removable, we're finding that like a 0.9 steel just welded, it almost comes up lighter than using an aluminium panel like this. I mean, you make your aluminium panel, then you still need all mounts like this welded on behind it, and then 15 bolts to hold it on, which is fine for this, but on these smaller panels, they're just really filler panels to seal the body off. So the body comes down here, back up into this area. The floor will seal right up on there like that, so it's just going to be all sealed off really nice. Also, all this tin work's going to be all powder coated charcoal, so all these the panels that are welded in, all this gear where the aluminium seals up to, it's all going to be all the one colour, so it'll look pretty killer. But yeah, it's coming up nice. But yeah, at least 40 hours work has gone into this. There's at least 5-10 kilos of bloody offcuts and iron filings on the ground and cardboard templates, but we're getting there. And yeah, even down to this, there was a little gap between where the tub's finished and this panel went in, so we've welded that up. So we are trying to keep it really nice and sealed up, and it's going okay. But it's been one of those weeks where you think you're not really getting anywhere, but hey, it's only week 8. We've got about another 12 to go, so we're going all right.
Starting to mount these up now. Got strips in there to mount these back panels. Gonna get this bottom one done now.
Look at that.
Oh yeah, riding them all.
All around there.
Yeah.
All right, wrapping up week 8 now. Just a few things that we did, we didn't end up capturing, was this little brace that we made for the tub bracket. So when we made that tub bracket, it was just a little bit twangy at the end here. And we also had a bit of a problem where the deck was trying to fall off the end of these bars, and it was a little bit not stable enough across the back there. So obviously you've seen we added these extras on, and then we also, just for a little bit of extra stability on the back of the deck, we put these 3/8 tubes slipped into a half down to the side of the tub there, and that really shored up that tub there. So the tub's not wobbly anymore. Then we moved on to these fill out panels and knocked out all of that to keep all the smoke out of the cab. Yesterday we were just finishing off these brackets here to mount up those panels, the main panels next to the forelink, and also a couple of these little infills there. So yeah, we're steaming ahead with it, and we're going to move on to front firewall this week. Still haven't decided what we're going to do, aluminium or steel yet, but we'll soon find out, and so will you. So tune in next week, like, subscribe, comment. Cheers.